Hi, I'm Joan Newcomb, and today's morning musings is Doggalists. I'm doing a series of daily morning musings, and I'm using posts on my blog, Adventures in Density and Effort, as inspiration. Now, I wrote these a while ago, and the world has completely changed since then. So if I encounter anything that is out of date, I will give you the most recent information, and at the end, I'll summarize the topic based on all that's going on in the world today. Also, I have some special offers, so stay tuned to the very end to see what they are. Doggalists. Every once in a while, we'll be driving down the highway of life, and something will change our direction. Sometimes it's subtle, but often it's a major redirect from the way we were going. Things will occur to break the camel's back, so you make the change yourself, or circumstances will arrive so that the rerouting seems to be imposed upon you. These course alterations may look like major disasters, but they'll almost always end up being something good. When I was trying to move my mother to Seattle, interactions with the people there convinced me that it would be an unstable situation. They were catalysts for not moving, but it followed shortly that my mother's cancer was progressing, so ultimately it turned out for the best that we stay here. My mother passed in January, and it was my intention to fly back to Seattle with my husband and our dogs on March 2nd. One of our dogs started having health problems last week, and the vet couldn't approve him to fly. So suddenly, we're plotting a course to drive 3,000 miles across the country in March with a sick dog. It's a major rerouting and significant shift in our timing of events. It opens an opportunity to leave a teensy portion of my mother's ashes in Ann Arbor, where she was born. I'd asked the cremation company to give me a small box for scattering while the rest was interred in D.C. Years ago, I'd suggested to her leaving some of her ashes in every place she's lived in, and she, a geographer and world traveler, was tickled by the notion. So now it's my self-appointed mission to leave a teaspoonful in 6 different countries and more than a dozen different addresses. I'm going to have to update my passport. No doubt there will be other reasons for this unexpected road trip. Our vibration always contributes to where we are. We are meant to encounter the people we meet. Perhaps after 2 years of camping out in DC taking care of my mother, I get to have a bit of a vacation before hitting the ground running in Seattle. I'll probably create a new blog. Adventures with Basil and Emma are 2 dogs' names, or Basil and Emma's Excellent Adventure. The main lesson here is, I think, to stay flexible. Go with the flow, bend away from the punches, relax, and take the next indicated step. We can thank our catalysts, or in my case, doggalists, for whether it's a layoff or a health crisis. It encourages us to expand and grow, and that's always a good thing. This is hilarious. I also don't read these before I start recording, so I saw the title Doggalist, and I was thinking it had something to do with like analysis or analyst, and it's not. It's a takeoff of catalyst, Doggalist. And I will have to say, it was pretty horrible driving across country with my dog. His cancer had come back, and it was giving him neurological problems, and he became incontinent on the way, and I was so furious. I was thinking, why couldn't the vet approve a 6-hour plane ride versus a 6 or 7 day car ride with him? Anyway, I have something very similar going on now. Not that I have a dog that is dying or anything like that, but more that my husband and I had planned to retire next year in Spain. And I had done a lot of research and a lot of preparation and really even, thought about our specific time of going. We would start applying for a visa in March, and then we would go there in May. And then these little things started happening, like you have to apply for private health insurance for the first year until you qualify for being on their public health. And the private health insurance doesn't allow for pre-existing conditions. Now, if you've had cancer 5 years ago, they don't consider that a pre-existing condition. But my husband had his cancer 4 years ago, which means we'd have to wait till November of next year anyway. So that was already dawning on us when a family member here in Seattle who has some severe health issues gave us some news that completely came out of left field. And I have to say, when it's a creation of consciousness, it comes from out of left field and kind of knocked our entire plans off for the next year, which coincides with my husband needing to have 5 years of clean-free test exams behind him anyway. Every fiber of my being would love to be in Spain with my grandson, and yet there's obviously a much bigger reason for the storyline that we're still here, that we're going to still be here next year. So I think of life as a road trip that you're navigating. It isn't something that is predestined or pre-planned. You may have certain points that you want to make along the way, and you have your choice of routes. And you can take the scenic route, or you can go through the wrong side of town. From the perspective of consciousness, it's equally as exciting, maybe more exciting, to go through the wrong side of town, because we're kind of like actors that are trying to get our Oscars. And so we want to get beaten up by a bear despair or have terrible things happen, because it just shows how creative we are and how talented we are as actors. So that being said, take a look at your own life. We've all been going through tremendous challenges and experiencing lots of curveballs, and notice in your own life if you've had any catalysts for change that you might not be thinking at this moment. And whether or not you can be thankful for them at this time, you can go ahead and stay flexible, go with the flow, bend, and you can choose a different scenic route for yourself. So if you've had any experiences like this, leave me a comment below. I love to read your comments. And if you like these videos, please share them with your family and friends and on your social media. And please click the like button and follow and subscribe. And that way you're telling the algorithm to get this out to as many people as possible and to someone who really needs to see this information. And if you want a free sample of one of my consciousness techniques, click on the link below to the skybox technique. It'll give you a drone's eye perspective, which is a perspective of consciousness of what's going on in your life and your world today. And if you want some manifestation techniques, click on the link below to Manifesting Money and Miracles. It's my self-study course that will give you energy techniques to increase synchronicity and your ability to magnetically attract what you'd like to create in your life. And if you'd like to have a personal session with me, click on the link below to private sessions. I take a look at the essence of who you are and what's going on in your life today, and then I can answer any questions that you might have, whether it's about your relationship, about your job, about what's coming up in the future, and I can also talk to your deceased loved ones. And it's all recorded just for you. And if you want to learn how to do this for yourself, that is, navigate your life as consciousness with the help of my consciousness techniques, Manifesting Money and Miracles is a great preparation for my coaching special, where I work with you one-on-one and give you specifically chosen consciousness techniques so that you can transform your life. And you can find out more on my website, joan-newcomb.com, and I'll see you tomorrow in another Morning Musings. Doggies!